Good evening, everybody. So tonight we are reviewing and discussing about Venom: The Last Dance. So you know who we are. So we're going to start the review and spoiler review as well. So Venom: The Last Dance is the bromance movie between, or the ultimate bromance movie between Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom. This film is the ultimate fun movie that reminds me of something from the early 2000 comic book movies. Part of the film and the Venom trilogy has always been the bromance between Eddie and Venom, and how Eddie from the first movie evolved into fully embracing the symbiote, and Venom in the third movie. Throughout the movie, Tom Hardy is having a blast playing Eddie Brock. He does take the character seriously, but he shows so many joyful moments throughout the movie. I enjoyed the desert scene that reminded me a bit of a Hunter S. Thompson kind of nod or reference. With him with no feet, with no sandal, with no shoes, just the Hawaiian dress shirt, and little things like that kind of like stood out. And walking towards Vegas or leaving Vegas, however, if I remember that correctly. But it was a nice like nod to Hunter S. Thompson. Um, the other thing I say, other than the desert moment, would be the stuff between Rise Ifan's character and his family, which he plays doesn't play Dr. Connor in this, but he plays another character. It's pretty fun, and I definitely like the moments he had with Eddie in this movie. The other positives was the third act, where like there's a lot of action, a lot of symbiotes and things like that, where it really picked up and ended on a strong note compared to the first two acts. Sorry about that. I got my cat screaming. The negatives was the movie was very sloppy and had a lack of character development for the supporting cast, such as Juno Temple and Clark Bucko's characters. They mentioned some stuff about Juno's character, Teddy Payne, and Clark's character, Sadie Christmas, but nothing is fully fleshed out. I was intrigued by the Area 51 and scientist stuff, but nothing really came out of it. If you were excited for Stephen Graham's character Patrick Mulligan to play an important role like Toxin, you'll be disappointed. The CGI was good and bad in scenes throughout the movie. For example, the CGI was day and night with Null in the movie. I thought Andy Serkis' voice Null was okay, but nothing special. Thought Kelly Marcel did a decent job making her directing debut. She wrote this movie and co-wrote the other two movies, so there is consistency in what these movies are. Movie, like I said, is sloppy and has many ridiculous scenes with Venom, but it does work for the casual audience. I had a lot of fun watching Venom: The Last Dance, and it's a better movie than Venom: Let There Be Carnage. It's worth a watch in theaters, as it is a very entertaining movie. And my score is a 6 out of 10.
All right. Now I'll probably be the most positive out of anybody here. I enjoyed the first two movies. The first one was good. I thought it was a good movie. It had a lot of good action, good back and forth between Eddie and the symbiote. I thought, the villain was okay. It was overall a fun action movie. The second one had a lot more problems. The character of Shriek was unnecessary. Woody Harrelson was kind of wasted as Carnage, as Eddie Cletus Cassidy. And it just felt a lot more messy in that area. But I still liked the overall action elements, and I thought Carnage looked cool, and it still gave us some like really dark, fun moments. This one I think is a lot better than Let There Be Carnage. I thought this was I thought it was a little bit less messy than the last movie. Still kind of messy, obviously, as Rome was saying. Overall, the acting was still really good. I mean, Tom Hardy he's just having so much fun with this role, and I like how he's not. He's just it's kind of like goes against like the grain. What I kind of appreciate about this role for him is that Tom Hardy is like the good looking, like kind of he's like sexiest man alive, which I think they reference at some point in the movie. Like he's like, I got a couple of those awards. I don't know if Tom Hardy was ever actually people's sexiest man alive, but I'm sure he was at some point. But I like how he's just kind of like because the way that like these comic book movies are is like Thor shit and blunder having just like fucking Thor go completely naked for no fucking reason. Because there's a lot of like I'm gonna get a little deep with this. I apologize, but I mean, there's a lot of objectification when it comes to comic book stuff, mainly with women, but a lot of it with men as well. Like cover them in baby oil. They have 8 packs. They fucking dehydrate themselves after a couple days, all to be ogled at for the sake of the female gaze and all that. So so you have all that, but what I appreciate about the Venom movies is you never get that with Eddie Brock. He's always constantly like talking to himself. He's on edge. He has like half of a 5 o'clock shadow. He's sweaty. He's gross. It constantly looks like he hasn't showered in like 3 days. I love that about this series. That's like the one like thing. It's just like you expect him to like rip off his shirt and just be like show off his sweaty 6-pack, but no, we never get. He's just like he's in a Hawaiian shirt, barefoot, and like gross. I love that. Like it's just like it's a nice change of pace, and I love Tom Hardy. No matter what he does, he always does a really good job. Whether it's something as like serious as like a Nolan movie, like with Inception or Dunkirk, but he learns he can like have fun. Like he's having fun with this. He knows the movie he's in, and he has fun with it, and he has chemistry with himself because he voices Venom, and as Rome was saying, I like that bromance between the two of them. All the other actors did a really good job too. Like you have Rhys Ifans, who makes his second Sony Spider-Verse appearance after being Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man. I like him as like that sort of weird hippie guy. I thought that was kind of fun, as well as the mom from Ted is also in there. And then you have Chiwetel Ejiofor, who did a great job, who plays Mordo in the MCU. He's like, I'm sick of waiting to play Mordo for a third time. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna go to the Sonyverse so I can actually do something for once, because God knows Marvel fucking keeps wasting him there. So he's like, fuck it. I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory. I'm gonna fucking nuke myself. Fuck it. Let's go. And so he's having fun. I thought Juno Temple was really good. Like there are like bits and pieces to like these characters that unfortunately don't get fleshed out very much, which I can kind of see because it's not really their story. It's more about like Eddie and Venom and how they like survive this and how they like make it throughout the movie and that kind of thing. But yeah, I thought the pacing was odd at times. Sometimes it was going like really, really quick, but then it was like during certain scenes it like went at a snail's pace. I would say the first and third acts is when the pacing was like really good, but in the second act it kind of slogs a bit. But the editing was pretty good. The effects for the most part were really good. Like I would say that these have probably been the best that the symbiotes have ever looked since probably Spider-Man 3. Mainly when they're like standing still or like they're part of like a human body. But when they're not, it's pretty noticeable. Like with the biggest one was the Venom horse scene. Cool scene, pretty fucking awesome, not gonna lie. But you can kind of tell the green screen and like it's clearly like fake looking. It just doesn't look right. And I will say the the knoll creatures, I don't know what the fuck those were called. I thought they looked good for the most part. Usually they're pretty at a distance, so you don't really see them up close that much. But even if you see them close, they're not too bad. A little noticeable, a little rubbery, but for the most part, they look pretty good. The story is essentially just like you'd have like this kind of MacGuffin timeline of like, we need to get to New York because reasons, but that's not like the real story. It's just like this real story is like the real Venom, the Last Dance was the friends we made along the way. So that's like kind of what it is, and how like Noel is after them with these creatures. You have the whole codex bullshit, which was like a little, little ridiculous, little bit of comic book ridiculousness that doesn't quite get executed all that well. But for the most part, I thought this was, and the action was really good. The third act is easily the best part of this movie. The symbiotes fighting the fucking Knoll creatures. It was explosive. It was epic. It was so much fun. I'm like, that's the type of shit that should have been like the whole movie is that third act with just how fucking fun it was. I think they needed to like get rid of some of the storylines. I get the stuff they did with like the family element. I get that. It was like it felt like kind of a leftover from Logan. Like, this is gonna be the last Venom movie. We have to include like a Logan moment. Insert a family for no reason. Sure, why not? But I still like the kid was good. It was like the relationship was like cute. And I liked Rhys Ifans. He's a really good actor, so I liked all that. But for the most part, not the best movie. Again, this is like kind of like junk food movie. I probably also would have given it a 6 out of 10. But like with how fucking fun the last act was, I like the running gag with like he can't find a good pair of shoes. And I thought the first act was like good setup. It had a lot of fun action in the second act, even despite the slow moments. But for the most part, I thought it was a pretty fun movie. With that, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a fun time. It's junk food. It's not actually great, but I still had a hell of a time with it.
I guess it's my turn. All right. So I'll just swing most of this. Fuck it. Much like this flawed series as a whole, this film was a mess, but wound up being fun anyway, in spite of itself. It started out very poorly, but picked up steam at the end, just in time to cross the finish line with a satisfying ending. The movie opens with a shitty opening sequence, like great value Lord of the Rings, uh, with the shitty unknown villain named Null, Knull, a name I didn't even know until the credits, thanks to the shitty sound design, because he's like, you can hardly hear what the fuck he's saying. Something, they imprisoned him, he wants revenge, blah, blah, blah. Generic villain is generic. Of course, he's played by Andy Serkis, because everyone knows that it's a weird rule in Hollywood that every single CGI character has to be played by Andy Serkis. For that matter, why is this guy even CGI? Because he looks like a normal fucking person. So I have no fucking clue why he's even CGI. And Andy Serkis is totally wasted here because the villain is hardly even on screen. He rattles off his villainous monologue, sends his horde of weird-looking xenomorph dogs through portals to find the Codex. Spoiler alert, it's Eddie and Venom. And that's it. That's pretty much it until he pops up at the end when he dies. Spoiler alert. The film does have some laughs a bit, like they say, like my buds up here said. There is a great, like buddy cop feel, is a great buddy comedy feel to Eddie and Venom at this point. He's, I guess, like he said, he developed great chemistry with himself. So, but Eddie and Venom are, great together. So, I mean, that's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, a lot of the laughs come from just the shitty plot. It's like you're already in Mexico, dude. You find out you're a wanted fugitive, so you go back to the U.S. You go back to the place where you're a wanted fugitive. I can't stay down here. Why the fuck not? That's where people go when they're wanted fugitives, to Mexico. They don't go to New York. I don't get that. You're already in Mexico, dude. Mexico does not give a fat fuck. They don't care. They're not going to export you. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They have enough problems of their own. So, I mean, they're not going to expedite you. So, I mean, in New York, I guarantee you they will. So, I don't get that part. But anyway, there are some laughs, especially, the "we are Venom" thing. That had me rolling. That part where he's fighting those guys. I mean, there were several instances in there where I was just laughing out loud in the damn theater. Rise Ifans, good to see him. Great to see him again. He and his family were absolutely freaking hilarious. At first I was like, what the hell are these people doing here? But they were great. Some of the characters were like, why are we spending time on this? So, I mean, it's like you had the scientist, the woman who was a scientist, and we just had to see her backstory in there. They just had to just shove that in there. So at first it's a lot of weird editing and we're jumping around a lot between different stories. And it was Juno Temple as Dr. Teddy Payne. which is a comic book name if I've ever heard one, Teddy Payne. But yeah, we got her backstory with somehow her brother being struck by lightning while they were holding hands, and he died and she didn't, and it should have been you, it should have been you doing this or whatever. But I mean, it's a mess. It's all over the place. The plot is all over the place. Like they're trying to somehow do too much and not enough at the same time. Like we really could have used more backstory there for the villain. Maybe see him on screen, maybe take 5 or 10 minutes to just show a little bit of backstory. But as it was, but what really saves this film is the third act. It actually starts to get a little better once he hooks up with with Rise Ifans and his family. It starts to get a little better then, a little more lighthearted there. And then in the end of the third act, Chiwetel Ejiofor is really good too. You got to admit the action's very good in this. The action is very good. Once the dog showed up, Chiwetel Ejiofor was just fucking fantastic, of course, as usual. He was as Strickland, as the military commander of Area 51, which is being decommissioned in the movie, of course. And Rise Ifans as a hippie. I told Jack, I whispered to Jack, I said, hey, this is when I told him this was Rise Ifans. The guy said, Jack, this is the guy who played Dr. Kirk Connors in The Amazing Spider-Man. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. And then later I whispered to him, hey, Jack, this is Dr. Kirk Connors' origin story. So, but anyway, I mean, Chiwetel Ejiofor, back to him, he was really, really good. Yeah, he was really, really fucking good. And I love how when his men died, when they were trying to capture Venom, how upset he was at that, because he came across as very genuine, because he's Chiwetel Ejiofor, he's a hell of an actor, of course. So it came across as very genuine. His anger and the way he was upset at that and just wanted revenge about that. So I mean, he came across as very genuine. So of course, I'm sure nobody missed him talking about the Six, his covert team. So of course, I guess that's an obvious setup for the Sinister Six, So, or at least a tease, I guess. So, but I mean, the third act was really, really good. Basically just wall to wall, balls to the wall action. So, and that's what this film does best. I mean, honestly, that's what this series does best. I mean, they really nailed it with the action. This one, the big xenomorph dogs, whatever the fuck they want to call them. I think they call them hunter, predator, symbiote predators or whatever, symbiote hunters or whatever. I still call them xenomorph dogs. I choose that name. So the xenomorph dogs were awesome. I mean, they were really cool, especially when they pull themselves back together. The motherfucker falls out of a goddamn airplane, hits the ground, and just pulls himself back together. Like, holy shit, how do you kill these fuckers? But they did come up with a very clever way in the end. But I mean, it was very good. And I think the best part about it did wind up with a little bit of heart at the end. It did wind up with a little bit of heart at the end, and that was really nice to see. I mean, that really hits hard when kind of hits hard when Venom tells Eddie, said, I would like to have seen her. It's like Lady Liberty. I would like to have seen her. I would like to say, no, we're still going to do it. It was like, Eddie, there's no getting out of this. So, I mean, it's like, that was a really nice moment, to see between those two. So, but I still don't think it's over. Of course not. I mean, because how can he be dead? Because he's going to be part of their Sinister Six, of course, so, but either way, I thought it was a pretty good time. So my score is a 6 out of 10. Yeah, started out being really shitty. I thought it might be on one of the worst of the year, but it wound up being on my fucking best. Well, not best, but I mean, it wound up being passable. So yeah.
Yeah, I really like the opening as well with the bartending stuff. Some of the comedy bits on that was really
funny.
funny.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
No one gives a shit about the multiverse or something along those lines was pretty funny too.
Exactly. I love like the self-aware jab of like nobody gives a fucking shit about this anymore. And I also loved the little thing I wanted to talk about was like how in the universe where his family blipped away for 5 years, he's like super hot and good looking. But the one he does have his family, he has like wrinkles and he looks like he's about to like fucking pass out. I'm like, yeah, no, that tracks. That tracks. That was funny. But
That's a great detail. Notice. I didn't think of that until you just mentioned that.
Yeah, like because he had his like hair down. There's like kind of gray in his hair a little bit. Mark can identify with that one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was like a fun. I'm like, I see what you did there. I know. I mean, as I like to notice the small details, and but yeah, the foreshadowing is pretty easy. Like, oh hey, these giant vats of acid. Gee whiz!
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to factor into the plot later.
Exactly right.
And the cockroach, like the whole cockroach, them a cockroach just survive it through everything, and they picked up that piece of piece of venom at that bartending scene.
Yeah, I did. I saw the first post credit scene. I didn't feel like waiting for the second one. The guys were already in to like clean the theater, so I'm like, fuck this. I know what happened. I read it, and I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Don't even bother waiting for the end credit scene. It's a total waste.
Yeah, although I will say, and I said,
I was like John. I walked out after the mid credit scene. After I saw the mid credit, because I looked it up too.
I should have. I went
cockroach and
that's some long ass fucking credits too. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a effects heavy movie, so there's a lot.
True. But I mean, the movie itself isn't even that long. It's like the movie is barely an hour and a half, and no,
it's an hour 50 minutes.
No, there's no way because the movie started at 8 and at 6 where I played and I got out and that was after the credits. And I left at 7:50. 10 minutes of that was credit.
Yeah, it says on Google, it says on Wikipedia.
It's I know that. Yes, 1 hour 50. But I mean, I'm just saying 10, 15 minutes of that is credits.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you could shave a lot of that down. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, I didn't stay for the post credit scene, but I love the mid credit scene where he's like, Noel's like, I'm gonna have my revenge. I'm like, it's cute that you think this shit is gonna go on after Craven, because after like 6 bombs in a fucking row, this shit ain't gonna fucking go. Like, we're gonna have our own Thanos. It's like, yeah, that's cute, Sony. Yeah. That's real fucking cute.
Because Noah's like in that Thanos like role, like in Guardians Volume 1, just sitting in a chair throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, sure, you're gonna. I mean, I would say Craven looks fun. It's like it's junk food. Like that's what I've said this before, and I'll say it when we were doing like the Godzilla X Kong. I'm like, a true gentleman appreciates the $100 steak just as much as the $1 hot dog. Like I understand like these movies are not like good per se, but I enjoy them. They're fun, schlocky crap that you go to, like maybe with friends. Unfortunately, nobody. I didn't. I'm like, to be fair, I wanted to see this for the show. Usually, I would probably text people, but I was just like, I just want to see this for the show. So I'm like, all right. And I have had a busy schedule the past month, so I really wanted to see it. And yeah, this is like I considered getting like a spiked cider or something, but I was driving home, so I didn't want to risk it. And
I think the last movie also made a profit too, because it was like 120 million.
Yeah, I think
it made like 500 million.
Let There Be Carnage.
It made money, some money back. Not like what part 1 did, but it still made some money back.
I'm curious about that one, the specific numbers. But yeah, I thought, this is just a fun. It actually made like almost 5 times its budget.
Yeah,
like 110 made about $500 million. That
was still half a billion too.
Yeah, so I mean, not like amazing or anything, but it's still like profitable. I mean,
that's what these movies should be, like $100 million, $120 million. Nothing like to make some money back. Look at Beetlejuice. That's $100 million, and it made like 5 times, 6 times its budget.
Yeah, and then like. Just again, don't do what Warner Brothers does.
Yeah.
Like, this movie was fucking 80 million. Let's make it 200 million. Let's add Lady Gaga. Let's see how that works. And it didn't work. And that's coming from someone who really likes the movie. I love Joker Folie à Deux. I know me and Mark are the outliers, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's like a fact that this movie has not fucking made money because WB is stupid. Like, let's let the weird indie filmmaker go carte blanche and see what happens. Yeah, remember the last time you fucking did that and you fucking, got pishy and fired him because you couldn't sell toys. So like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
WB learning from their mistakes. What's that? Like, as a friend of mine always says when it comes to Warner Brothers, you could put a Warner Brothers executive next to a fountain and they'll still find a way to die from thirst. So, it's just comical at this point. So, but yeah, like these,
but second Warner Brothers.
But yeah, these are just fun. Like I don't get people that get all like uppity up in someone's shit just to like over like a fun schlocky movie,
Yeah.
I've learned to like not yuck someone's yum as much because of like, I just even like some of the worst movies, I'm just like, I think I have the initial shock of like, oh yeah, I don't know what's a bad movie, like Thor Love and Thunder. I love Thor Love and Thunder, and I'm just like, what the fuck did you say? But I'm like, if you enjoy it, I don't fucking get it. But if you enjoy it, that's fine with me. I'll make fun of you for it, but I'm not gonna shit on you for it, But yeah, I enjoy like. To me, like the Sony movies aren't good, but I enjoy them for what they are. Like and even like Morbin Time and Madam Web, they're so terrible, but like they're fun to laugh at. Like they're like fucking Matt Smith and his like fucking emo Peter dance sequence in the middle of the movie for no reason, or like Madam Web getting like the reason she becomes blind is she gets hit in the face with a firework. So it's.
We're going good. How are you doing tonight, Travis?
Hey, Travis. Or like villain getting killed by Pepsi sign. Wait, there's an animated Venom one coming out?
Yeah, it's Seth Rogen one.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Okay, that actually might be good.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to be the only one talking, so you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say the null thing, like the mid-credit scene. I wonder if that's where the big behind the scenes between Marvel and Sony, where Sony wants Null in the Spider-Man 4 and this whole multiverse thing, because like in the MCU Spider-Man, well, in the MCU Venom left a part of himself in there, so I wonder if maybe he looks into another universe or something where there's an ace up his sleeve where the Codex is now in that universe. And I don't know, it seems like I feel like Null is they're trying to use Null as like this next big multiverse story for Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Or they're pushing that narrative to Kevin Feige, because I feel like they were really like that mid-credit scene told me like they're trying to pull or push something for Spider-Man and Spider-Man 4, since there's so many stories about
and Kevin Feige in one of the few times where he's like actually is like a functioning brain cell, he's like, no, fuck off. Yeah. And because that's what it seems like. Oof. Oh, okay. Even I don't agree with that. Like I would give like Madam Web like a 4. It's probably the worst one out of the 5 so far. But I still laugh at it. Plus it's got Sydney Sweeney. That's always a good thing, even though they fucking like chopped off her titties for the movie, which is like ridiculous. But yeah, it's still like it has a lot of funny dumb moments. It's not like oh my god, this is the most hilarious fucking thing ever. But it's funny. Like it's funny. Like it's when you take responsibility, only then you'll have great power, or whatever the fuck they said. Yeah. Like stupid shit like that. It just it's chuckle worthy. But I still in terms of like the only one that's like I believe like a genuinely good movie is probably the first Venom. Like I would say that's a pretty good movie. Like I would say that's like a solid 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. Like it's a well-made action comedy thing, and like, you know, it had all of that.
It had a balance, and you had a
Yeah.
you know, well-known actor playing the lead role, which got more people interested in the movie.
Yeah. And it, you know, puts like fucking Avi Arad's gigantic Venom boner down for at least another year. Taking place in a lab. All right, I guess. But yeah, I think I think, I don't know if like it depends on who you are. If you like good trashy stuff, then you can, you know, go see this with some friends and like have a good time, maybe get a little drunk, get a little high. Don't drink and drive or smoke and drive. I'm just saying. I'm just, if you're not have a designated driver, but anyone who isn't, get a little high, get a little drunk, go see.
Yeah, it's kind of what this movie is. Like the theater I went to, there's a lot of kids, a lot of people who are just went in there with
Oh,
their
yeah.
friends and just had a blast.
It's,
I think some people might have thought, because there's been rumors about Spider-Man and Peter Parker or some connection. There were some people I overheard after the movie, like they were kind of like, "Oh, I thought something with Spider-Man was gonna connect to it." So I know there's some people who think maybe Spider-Man or something with the MCU is gonna connect to this movie still, but it doesn't connect anything to the MCU. It's just it's Venom, and it's the last of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hardy said, never say never if he does come back at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he can always like fucking, you know, teleport back to the fucking MCU world, and he'll be the Eddie Brock of that world, and then, you know, he'll get the cockroach symbiote, and then he'll be like proper Venom. I will say I never hated this look of Venom, but I liked the look. Like, I don't know why, just for me, Spider-Man 3 had the best look. Like, I don't like how skinny he was, but I liked the way that it looked more like, maybe because there was more time on it and you had someone like Sam Raimi behind it.
Yeah.
It like, I love the symbiote look. It like had like this proper glossy look to it, but it still felt
more
like
a creature demon. Like,
yeah, it felt like
Sam
like a
Raimi,
real alien creature. These
Yeah.
ones just kind of like go like blah, 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 on the ground.
Right.
So,
This
you know,
was like an action figure, or like, hey, we're gonna give you the closest, like big, you know, Venom looking character from the comic books.
yeah. But it's like, in terms of like Venom stuff, like I feel like Venom is a character that like, I mean, like it depends on the scene. It depends on the scene. That's an interesting way of
That's a good
putting
way
it.
of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Add some depth to it, maybe.
Yeah.
Stick with it, you fucks. Like, that is the, I mean, although apparently, speaking of Spider-Man, the fourth one apparently is going to be filming soon. I think it's starting in January, isn't it?
No, May starts. They're gonna start shooting in May, and then it's gonna go until like October.
Okay. I don't know why I thought January. Like, again, I have like a million like superhero things on the mind because that's part of my job. But
Doomsday is like the one that's gonna be starting, I think, in March, and then that's gonna be like another 5-month thing. So, because Holland's been talking about like, yeah, we're shooting, you know, Spider-Man 4 next year. First, he said the script wasn't ready or there's not there, but when he got cast as Nolan's movie, like that, the script's done. Let's go. Because he's not going to.
I mean, there was like a couple weeks, so maybe they like fine-tuned. Because he said, I remember him saying like, "Oh, Zendaya."
2026, not 2024.
Yeah, July 2024 already happened. What's up, Mark?
Can anybody answer me? I'm not familiar with the comics of them. I know there's a whole host of symbiotes.
Yep.
Is Dr. Teddy Payne a character from the comics? Because it seemed like they were definitely setting her up.
Yeah, there is a character called Teddy Payne, but it was a male character.
Yeah,
some of the characters we see, like Teddy Payne and the General, they're comic book characters, but they're like C or D level characters.
Yeah.
And I know, what's his name? Mulligan, he's Toxin in the comic books. But obviously they went nowhere with that character. He ended up playing another symbiote instead of Toxin.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of, you know, obviously, like, I mean, I think they used Toxin here, but like it was like different.
Yeah.
Because I think so I think I think they still use technical. Hold on, I'm looking at it.
There are Easter eggs. Like some of those symbiotes we see are actual other symbiote characters in the comic books. I just don't know all their names.
Yeah, I don't know all their names either.
I know the white Venom we saw, the white symbiote was like a nod to anti-Venom, but
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
exactly what I
anti-Venom.
was thinking.
Yeah, I mean that's what I wonder is they're clearly seem to be setting her up for a spinoff. I mean, otherwise, why would they used precious film time on her weird ass backstory? You know, it should have been her brother and all this shit.
Yeah,
I don't know, but then again, I mean, this is a different universe. So I mean, this Statue of Liberty clearly this is probably where he's going to meet Peter. But I mean, this Statue of Liberty didn't have the shield, from Captain America, So.
Oh yeah, this is definitely different. They clearly show that this is a different universe. So
yeah. This is like,
but yeah, so I was looking it up. Apparently, the Teddy Payne, the purple one, it's called Agony. That's like that character, like the speed demon kind of look. And I was looking up. So it looks like they don't say it, but it's implied that the symbiote that was given to him was Toxin. It just they changed it for the movie which is fair. I will give them that because in the comics, Toxin is like the love child of Venom and Carnage. And because of that, he's red and black. And since that's not what happened here, they even say like, oh, the symbiote that was attached to him broke down. It fucked up. So it seems like the original. So like to give him like a new, like fresh, like symbiote, they're like, okay, we're just gonna give him another one, which is like technically Toxin, but like not really. But they just gave him a whole new one, and so he's green now, which kind of makes sense because Toxin is like toxic waste, which is green, so it makes sense that he would be green. I kind of liked that more than the comic one. I know the comic one is like kind of became like a cult favorite, but I liked the look of that. Like I love the look of all of these. Like I liked the Clayface looking one, like the brown one. I'm like, that's got to be a nod. And then all of them are really cool. I liked the Sadie Christmas one, like that
was cool too.
Where she was like red and green. I'm like, okay, that's cute. And I
found myself rooting for it and not dying because like you saw a lot of these symbiotes getting killed by these xenomorphs dogs. So it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't really give you much substance about her or Dr. Payne. It was just kind of like you got a little bit, but not enough. It was very like you just didn't really get to know them well enough. Only a little bit of one's background. The other one was just kind of like a throwaway scene.
Okay, yeah. So I looked it up, and apparently Rex Strickland is a really new character. In fact, he existed like right before the first Venom came out. Like that's when he was introduced, and he became a character. He became a symbiote named Tyrannosaurus / Grendel. No, that's a different character. So yeah, he became a character called Tyrannosaurus, and then but he dies here, so I guess they didn't plan to use that for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that was the case there. And then Dr. Thaddeus Payne. There's so many characters named Thaddeus.
Going off the canon event cost, it's a canon event that Peter finds a symbiote. So some outside force brings these two universes together to make those canon event occur. I mean, that's probably what Sony's been trying to shoehorn in with Spider-Man 4, and Kevin Feige's just like, stop. We're not.
Amy Pascal, sit the fuck down, please.
I don't think she's there anymore. I think she left.
Oh, I think she did. Yeah. Oh, she did leave. Yeah.
She want to do her own thing.
Yeah, thank God for that. But let's hope they just stop making these like dumbass ideas. Like, I don't mind. Like, it's not inherently awful because there's a lot of really interesting characters in terms of Spider-Verse characters. There's a lot to choose from. Like, you could do a Silver Sable movie, you could do a Black Cat movie, but they don't choose to do that. They choose like weird characters nobody's ever heard of, like Madam Web. Like I know Madam Web, but I'm a comic book nerd, so I know like a little bit of that character, or the people that are maybe familiar with the animated series with Madam Web.
Same.
So like you have that, but most people don't know that shit. Most people don't know Morbius. So the most that we got of Morbius in live action was he was one of the trillion different endings to Blade. So that's what that was. So like, I don't know. It's just like, because they had it planned to do a Silver Sable Black Cat movie, but that one got canceled. Out of all the ones to get canceled, that was the one that got canceled.
Well, now that
Makes no sense to me.
they announced like they're working on a Silver Sable movie now.
Yeah,
which-
that makes sense.
yeah.
Like, especially with the character since she was in the first Spider-Man video game,
Right.
and she was like a fan favorite there, and definitely having Dommy Mommy vibes. A lot of people, cling to that. A lot of Rule 34 with that one. So it makes sense that they would, bring her back into the fold, and Black Cat would be amazing. Like, I'd love to see Black Cat. I know, like, the rumor is that they're gonna bring Black Cat into the MCU, and she's gonna be played by Sydney Sweeney. And I'm like,
That'd be awesome.
I think that's just wish fulfillment at this point, fellas. So,
and nobody knows what Spider-Man 4 is going to be about, which they're doing a great job really keeping that under wraps.
Yeah. I mean, they tried for No Way Home, even though we all knew that Toby and Andrew would show up.
Oh, yeah.
But they tried. They tried. I'll give them that. But I think they're trying hard for this one because it's like they know that Spider-Man is their biggest moneymaker. Like, no matter what you do or say, that's always gonna be your kind of your backup plan in a way.
Night Watch. One of the films in the original Sony slate was Night Watch, which, along the others, makes up the team of Maximum Carnage. Seems they were building to that event, only to rush a movie.
I could see that. I know. I mean, they've had a lot of stuff in the
Sony
fold.
rushing things.
That's
Yeah,
shocking.
shocking.
Not that
Sorry,
shocked.
go ahead.
No, you're good. I just think that it's like so. It's just so funny, like, coming from this guy. Like, they had the El Muerto movie that with Bad Bunny. Remember, they keep trying to make him a fucking movie star, and it's not fucking working. That's pretty funny, not gonna lie. I'm like, he was in Bullet Train for 2 seconds. Let's make him a movie star. We don't have to make every rapper, wrestler, and like basketball player a movie star, guys. We can just have them be, sure, okay, you got a couple good ones. You got your John Cena, and you got, like 50 Cent, who's like a pretty decent actor. Like, just like keep it at like a couple guys. Let's just not, every rapper has to be the next biggest movie star. Like, I understand The Rock is going down the shitter in terms of not being the blockbuster star he once was, but like, we don't need another one. Maybe there's a reason for that. Just stop doing that. Stop. Get some help.
Yep. But I think Sony, I don't know what their deal is with Marvel Studios for Spider-Man, because whatever plans they had, it's like they have to tiptoe around whatever they have with Marvel Studios to keep that deal going, because they keep going back and forth with whatever they want to plan, but then they can't go full throttle with it because they can't maybe use Spider-Man's name. They can't use Peter Parker's name because Madam Web, they really cut out a lot of like the Spider-Man stuff. So I don't, it's like, it's the same with Venom. There's no mention of Peter Parker. There's no mention of Spider-Man. There's no mention of there's a Spider-Man in that world. There's no, it's like they're trying to keep the trend going because they have the IPs for these characters to keep the movie rights, but it's kind of hard when you can't mention Spider-Man in any of these movies that they're trying to do, or just give you a figure that says, "Here's a Spider-Man in this universe," but we can't really, he's there, but we can't go around. We can't use him the way we want to use him.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I say they should either be able to cast around Peter Parker or just use Miles Morales. So I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or want to use like a Spider-Woman, Spider person, any Spider person. Like, you can, there's like a trillion of them at this point. So just fucking use one of those and like, oh, that's our Spider person.
I mean, with Spider-Man
you had, I don't know if they couldn't get Eminem back for this, but he's like, nah, I'm good. But or what?
Yeah.
But, or maybe they just decided not to market this one as heavy. So I mean, maybe they just didn't work.
Maybe they're finally realizing this shit just doesn't make money.
But I don't know. I mean, I was going to say earlier that it's cute that you and Devin think that not making money is going to stop Sony. That they don't care.
No, they got plenty of money.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I mean, like it's like we talk about with Disney. Sony's major thing isn't even movies, man. I mean, they get money from computers, electronics, whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't really, movies is just a side business to them. So I mean, they're just going to keep making them. So I mean,
I mean, they got Spider-Man Noir coming out next year, and
Mhm.
it's they're not. I mean, apparently his name's supposed spoiler. He's not being Nicolas Cage is not playing Peter Parker. He's playing Ben Riley. So, um,
Interesting.
yeah. So it's like I was surprised we were actually going to see him in the costume. There's been some leak images out there of him in the full get-up costume. So I like that. So I'm glad we're at least going to get something that looks like a Spider-Man, even if they can't call him Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man Noir is gonna be fucking mint. Like
Yeah.
that. I mean, Nicolas Cage, like he's deserved like a good superhero project. God knows he didn't get them in the Ghost Rider movies. God knows it wasn't that Flash cameo. Maybe it'll be this because I'm stoked for that. Like it looks awesome. And I don't think did Spider-Man Noir ever mention his name in Into the Spider-Verse?
No, everybody assumed it was Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he just said, "Oh, my Uncle Benjamin." That's all he
Yeah.
said in terms of his. So yeah, like they could do that. That makes sense. Because like it's kind of an intriguing thing. Like, because I will say, I'm like having Nick Cage. Like, I don't mean this as a slight on him or like the production or anything like that, but it's just like having Nick Cage with his Nick Cage voice saying, Hi, I'm Peter Parker. I just can't imagine that. Like, it's just like Peter Parker is just like this name in my head that's synonymous, like with these young fucking wily white dudes that I just can't imagine, like, oh, hey, we're going to steal the Declaration of Independence. My name is Peter Parker. Like, I can't, like,
Yeah.
So like it's kind of cool that they're doing that if that rumor is
Yeah,
true.
the villain's going to be Silvermane.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I know they have Detective U or Toe or the detective you see in the video games and some of the cartoons that Spider-Man always talks to from New York. So I think that character's in it. So it's very noirish with like a street level type thing, and I like. I mean, I like it. I like that you have Nick Cage, who's going to be like the interesting point in the show, the attracting thing to get people to watch this on Amazon.
Yeah,
I do like that it is being by Amazon because they do have some good stuff on there for a TV.
yeah.
So that's a plus.
I think Amazon has some really good stuff. But yeah, I think
Is anything did you guys not like? What was the thing that you found ridiculous or like an eye roller? Because I thought the Venom dancing with what's her
Miss
name?
Chen.
Yeah, Miss Chen.
I actually love that. Actually,
It was
I thought that was
yeah.
kind of cute.
yeah.
It's
As I said, I thought that was just an eye roller when
Yeah.
he decides to leave Mexico. Where you go when you're a wanted fugitive? Oh, great, I'm a wanted fugitive. Well, I'm already in Mexico, so fuck it. It's to go to New York City. I mean, like what the fuck? If it's big enough news, like he said, to make it all the way to Mexico, and shit, it's big enough news to make it to New York. So I mean, they will be on the lookout for him, and where he will go to jail.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but I don't know, man. So
I don't know, but
that was really dumb to me. I thought, So I mean,
yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but none of these movies do. So I don't think there was anything like eye-rollingly bad. Like, I think the only thing I can think of was like some of the like glaringly obvious foreshadowing that's like trying to be like, oh, look how like cool we are. Not cool, but like look how like ooh, look how amazing we are. We're like putting this like clever for it's like that's not clever. Like we know that Venom is gonna die by the acid bath. We know that like they're gonna use all of these symbiotes, they're gonna do all these things, the shoes are gonna be important. It's Chekhov's gun, and like all these things are gonna be important. Like the family's gonna like show up and it's like it's a whole thing. Like the kid is gonna see an alien. Like it's not like clever as it thinks it is. So I guess that's like kind of eye rolling is like the heavy use of tropes, but like again, I don't expect this to be like have a lot of depth.
Yeah, I expect it to be like one of the Ghost Rider movies. The first Fantastic Four movie, just something there's a lot of issues with it, but you can have a good time watching the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like the part where like Ray J found at the end was like fuck aliens, or they were able to use the one time
aliens suck.
Aliens suck, yeah. I do think they did push the R rating as much as they could get to what an R rating could be with some stuff, which was cool.
I wish that Venom got to use that one fuck. I wish like maybe during the last battle when like maybe like the alien starts reforming again and Venom is just like, God fucking damn it, and just like it was just kind of wasted with Rhys Ifans' character a little bit. Not it was bad, but
although it could kind of fit his character, though, you got to admit.
Yeah,
he said, "Fuck." That was pretty good. I mean, that was pretty fucking funny. Rise Ifans was so great in this, man. He's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, even the
he's underrated.
One who plays, even the actress who played his daughter was pretty funny too. With like,
yeah, she was. Yeah. Who was that? She looked familiar, by the way. That kid looked familiar.
I don't know.
Let us find out.
Can't find whoever that.
Clark Bacco, I think was her name. I guess not.
No, it's Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, wait, that's not her. What was the girl's name? I can't even remember her name.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Echo, that was her name. Echo. Hala Finley. Huh. Guess I haven't seen her before. I thought I have. She was in Venom, The Last Dance, Paradise Highway, Hypnotic, Backward. Hypnotic, that's it. That's it. That shitty film. Oh my fucking God. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that poor girl.
Bad memories.
Jesus. Yeah, really. Ugh. Man. Yeah, because she was Watchcall's daughter. Yeah. Jesus. Poor Ben Affleck having to make that shit.
Oh yeah. One major improvement, I think, is the inclusion of characters outside the main ones. For Venom to protect, the previous films felt dead at times. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Because it did make the whole thing with Carnage, he and Carnage feel like low stakes. I mean, they're fighting in a fucking empty ass church for crying out loud. You know. Which makes the whole like, well, then again, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I mean, you have to have somebody there. You know, there's got to be some civilians at risk. So I mean, shit, or it just becomes boring as shit.
Yeah, I mean, and also Venom made the ultimate heroic sacrifice to save people, to save Eddie, and he got that big hero kind of moment too.
Yeah, he did. He did. That was a very, very sad. Yeah. It was a very satisfying ending.
Yeah,
it was very satisfying ending. It was very, very good way to end the 3 films. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he did not play around. He met business.
He gave no fucks. And Ejiofor definitely sold that very well.
I was wondering if they were going to do that. Like, are they really going to have this where he takes him out wide? Like, nope, fuck it, he's going to shoot him right the fuck away. Yeah, it's like that's another thing I loved about the character is like, yep, I like this guy.
It definitely felt like if like this was made like 20 years ago, you could see like Arnold Schwarzenegger playing that. Playing that kind of role where, you know, it's like, you know how I said I would kill you last? Yeah, you did. I lied. Like, you know, like that kind of vibe, awesome. Like commando kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, Chadwick Ejiofor was really good though. But I mean, but yeah, the humor was really good in the film. You know, the action was too. I mean, the humor of the action is what saved it. You know.
Yeah.
So and it had a nice ending. You know, with Venom sacrificing himself. Dogfighter tells Eddie stop fighting. Eddie said, "No, this is for you." Same, exactly. I know, right? I did too, man. That whole sequence was funny as hell.
Yeah, that was like, I'm giving you a chance. I'm giving you a fucking chance. Like it felt like the start of like a Jackie Chan movie where he's like, I don't want no trouble. I don't want trouble. Like that kind of vibe. Honestly, it sold it better than Shang-Chi. I was like, I don't want trouble. I swear I'm doing this to help you. And and then eventually it's like, we're Venom.
Exactly. We're Venom. And even though I've seen that in the trailer before, I still had a fucking laugh at that part.
Me too.
Yeah, that was fucking.
I just love that Eddie kind of like, you know, he embraced the symbiote, he embraced Venom. Like he didn't reject it. It was like what's surprisingly, they said that they've been together for 1 year. It felt like, I know it's, and you know, in real life it's like, you know, 6-7 years, but it felt longer than 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like
You
it
know?
should have been. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I just hate that in the second one it felt like they took a step back character wise. Like, oh no, I feel bad about you eating people. Like, dude, we've already dealt with this in the last one. You already
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
to it. You already resolved this conflict. So why are we going here again, man? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great one, Travis. I think I'm going to use that too. No, this is for you.
This is for you.
This is for you.
Exactly.
This one's for you. It's like,
I tell
reminds you of
that
Rudy a
all the
little
time.
bit.
I'm like, look, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Right? I'm trying to be nice. Now, this is me being nice.
It's, yeah, like when that reminds me of that famous 10th Doctor episode where he was like, he ran away because he was being kind.
Yeah.
It's like when you see the fury of a Time Lord, you know you're fucked.
Yeah.
So
Especially
that's
David
it. Kind of
Tennant.
like it kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Box, man.
Yeah.
No second chances. I'm that kind of doctor.
It's why I like Tom Hardy, because he just took a script and just delivered on stuff that he made it work.
Yeah.
How talented
With his
he
natural
is as an actor.
charisma.
Yeah.
He's been 3 movies now. He has his part nailed by now. You know?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's why I kind of want to see more of him, not like because of like I understand these movies are not good. I get it. I understand that. To certain people that seem to not understand that, I understand these movies are not good, but I enjoy them. Person who I'm talking to, anyway. I feel like this. I just really like his character, the way they do it. Maybe that's just the natural charisma of Tom Hardy, where he's just that good of an actor. Like he knows how to fucking sell this. But like, I want to see more of him. Like, I know the movies are not that great, but I want to see more of that. Whether he is in the MCU or he stays in the Sonyverse, whatever fucking number this is called, I want to. I want to see it. Like, I want to see him. And maybe that's just because I love Tom Hardy as an actor as well. But that's,
Yeah, I do. I like him too. Yeah. I mean, my thing was,
I think the sound design was lacking.
We got a guess. Hey Zach.
Hey Zach. Hello, Zach.
You good, buddy?
You alive?
There he is. There he is.
What's up? It's the would-be host of this.
Yeah. Sorry about your laptop, my guy. That's okay though.
Same. I'm glad
You got the red one now. You're good.
Yeah. Because you got it taken
Yep.
care of.
I'm
Did you watch
back in
the film
business
back?
now. I'll host the rest of the stream because I'm just kidding.
Well, tell us what you thought of the film.
I had a couple issues. The story felt all over the place. Because I just got to say this right now, like, I like the Venom movies more than most people, but let's be honest. It's not that they're actually good movies, right? They're just dumb fun to me. There's this clumsy charm to them. I just like about it, and for the most part, I got that out of this. Like, if I had to give it a score, maybe a 6 out of 10. Probably my least favorite of the 3. I don't know, but I still enjoyed it for the same reason I enjoyed the other ones. But outside of how clumsy the story felt, it just, why were Reese Ifans, forgive me if I'm butchering the name, and Chiwetel Ejiofor in this, if they're not the other characters that we knew? It just felt very odd to cast them in a Marvel.
I think, like,
film
they just kind of wanted these
random
actors, and with how they're really good actors, and they're like maybe they came to them like, hey, we want to do another one of these movies, not the same characters, and it's a multiverse, all that shit. They're like, let's just have some more fun with superhero stuff without being like the main people,
without being the same
in regards
characters.
to that.
Yeah.
So I think they were just like, they wanted to have some fun,
Yeah.
I mean, they already explained the rules.
I thought
of
they did a
variance and how
good
you can be
job
different
in their
characters.
roles. Yeah, I thought they did a good job in their roles, like Chiwetel Ejiofor, especially. Like, That dude just commands the screen whenever
Always.
he's in a movie. But except for Lion King remake, I don't blame him for that, but I thought he was horrible in that. But yeah,
Oh yeah, it was horrible in that.
it's just everyone was like friggin' compared to how friggin' Jeremy Irons did it, right? Long live the king, and then Chiwetel Ejiofor's like, long live the king, like all hammy and shit, like just bad direction in that one. But he was good in this. It was nice to see him give a good performance again, at least.
Yeah.
So, and I actually have a few issues with the third act. Like, did this feel final to anyone? Because it didn't really feel final to me. The final film, The Last Dance, and it just felt like a third Venom film. It didn't feel like the last one.
I mean, I think they just want to keep it open just to get maybe if this makes money, they'll like have him show up again.
We've got to have money.
That is true. And so maybe they want to keep the door open for like a future movie, not necessarily a Venom movie, but like a movie that includes Venom, whatever that may be down the line.
Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Sinister Six, maybe maybe something like that. I don't know. But
they're
Bring
going
up
to
the
do a
six.
Sinister Six. I don't care what anyone said. They're going to do a Sinister Six.
I feel like
Yeah.
that was like a fun tongue-in-cheek reference to Sinister. I don't think. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. They've been trying to get a Sinister Six movie off the
Yeah,
ground for
they've
years.
been trying to do it for 20 fucking years. They're going to do it.
They're gonna do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think the joke
Yeah.
you mentioned is all that. I think it's just a joke, like a tongue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm sure about that. I'm not talking about that, but I'm pretty damn sure they're.
Oh
going.
yeah, I mean they've tried to make a two-parter with Drew Goddard at
Yeah.
the helm for years, so it's that
Yeah.
was made into the last thing.
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of things they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, and then like maybe because of like the writer's strike, maybe because of just other things, some things that happened, like anything can go wrong in a production, like anything. It's like any film production is like ripe for Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong can go wrong. So maybe it's just like outside forces, writing, directing certain things. Maybe Toxin was supposed to like have like a really big role, but due to the writer's strike, due to the actor's strike, they had to like change a lot of stuff. And like that resulted in this movie. I'd be willing to bet that because a lot of the movies of 2024, which is why it's been such a lackluster year.
Yeah.
Outside of like some gems here and there that we've gotten have been, just I don't know. I feel like there's something to blame there. It's not just like, they didn't use Toxin for whatever reason. I think like some things had to change in pre-production wise.
I think, whatever Marvel Studios has plans for the next Spider-Man movies, because Spider-Man is going to be a big part of Doomsday, and Secret Wars, where, Spider-Man gets the black suit or the symbiote on him in Secret Wars. So maybe Marvel Studios has some plans with the symbiotes. Not saying they're going to take what Sony did, but maybe they want to use Toxin in the next set of movies with Spider-Man. Who knows? I do feel like whatever deal Marvel Studios Sony has, it's like Sony can only go to as far as they can go with what they can do and within that agreement.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's entirely possible. Maybe the reason that maybe this is a good idea. Maybe the reason that this is like the final Venom movie, maybe they didn't plan for that to happen. But like they'll leave the door open to like, okay, yeah, he's like Venom survived, the cockroach, all that. Okay, he survives. But they'll say this is the final Venom movie because it feels like, I don't think it's going to be the case in Spider-Man 4. But if they are planning another trilogy, if we're getting Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, I think the black suit is going to be a factor there,
Yeah,
which is
agree.
why they're saying this is the final Venom movie, so that then Marvel can use him for all their movies, because they did detail that with the new deal they signed, that as long as like a year expires, which is going to be in October of 2025, that's when Marvel can then use the blacks, can use anything Venom related, and then that's when we'll see that. So that I have a strong feeling that this was the last Venom movie, because the MCU is going to be using the symbiote black suit Venom soon.
We've talked about that before, because it would make sense, because he's on his own now. He has his entire support system vanished overnight.
Gone,
This guy is in a very, very fucking dark place. It makes sense that he would have the black suit and that he would go to dark places.
And
also makes sense that Ned. We need to see Ned as fucking whatever.
I don't think we need to see him as Hobgoblin, because I feel like that's too obvious. And he technically wasn't Hobgoblin in the comics. He was brainwashed to believe he was Hobgoblin in the comics. So there was that as well. But there's also the little tidbit with like Venom shedding in the MCU. We get the little bit of the black goo. So we do have that, like, clearly they're setting Venom and black suit. And maybe this time they'll fucking get it right, because God knows they didn't get it right in Spider-Man 3, and they didn't get it right in Spider-Man 2. So let's hope in Spider-Man 4, 5, or 6, they'll finally fucking get the black suit right. Maybe.
Yeah.
One can hope, but it's
I'll tell you one thing, though. Noel may as well have not even been in this movie. He spent the whole fucking runtime just, I'm coming. I'm going to be the big threat. Even in the fucking post-credit scene, or at least from what I read, is just they're saying, I'm like, I'm coming soon.
Hot. That's hot.
He's gonna come.
Oh, holy shit! I'm gonna come. He's Mr. Plinkett the entire time. He's gonna come, but he never does. Anyway,
Venom 3 is the biggest disappointment
presence of
since
symbiote
Spider-Man 3.
And the MCU creates a huge loophole and strange spell, and the solution is Eddie gets pulled into the MCU. I don't think we're going to see Eddie anytime soon. I just think they're going a different direction, and Marvel Studios just wants to use the black suit and then maybe build to a Venom or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, because the symbiote doesn't know shit. The symbiote is just a symbiote. So
I think what they really fucking need to do, because I mean, Secret Wars is happening, and they're probably going to have the black suit there. Yeah, I think what they really need to build the black suit, probably, because a lot of people, and I think I forget who made a video. Maybe it was Troyo 17, because he makes a lot of Spider-Man stuff. Maybe it was somebody else, but somebody made a fair point of, like, they always fuck up the black suit part because they always rush it to get to Venom, while the black suit was one of the most interesting parts. Actually, it might have been Austin who was talking about it, because he was talking about how much he disliked Spider-Man 2. So he was saying, like, they always rush the black suit and just to get to Venom, because everyone cares about Venom. They want to see Venom. It's like, no, let's take a step back and just focus on the black suit, because the black suit is interesting in and of itself, because it's dealing with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man going to those really dark places he shouldn't as a hero. And while those sequences were pretty good in Spider-Man 3, I can't say much for Spider-Man 2 because I haven't played it, but in Spider-Man 3, they did have some aspects there, but the thing is they had to rush it to get to Venom, because Avi Arad has a fucking gigantic boner for fucking Venom and nothing else, apparently. So they had to do that fucking quickly. And so, but like what they need to do with Secret Wars, I don't know. So, okay. When is Secret Wars is happening in 2027, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, and they said Spider-Man 4 is going to be after Doomsday, right? So it would be
correct.
good. He gets, similar to Secret Wars, he gets the black suit in Secret Wars. We have an entire movie, Spider-Man 5, with him in the black suit, and then he sheds it off, and then maybe the villain of Spider-Man 6 will be Venom. That's how you should do it. Now, I'm not saying they'll do that because the MCU and they love to fuck things up majorly, but I feel like that's a good direction to go. He gets it in Secret Wars. He has the black suit, only the black suit, just the black suit. That is the villain. That's maybe one of the villains of the movie. They'll have like an official villain, but then they'll have the black suit, just the black suit for Spider-Man 5, and then maybe we'll get Venom in Spider-Man 6. That's what they should do. Really draw it out, really slow build to Venom so we don't have like them blowing their load immediately like with Spider-Man 3 and to a lesser extent Spider-Man 2, because I just feel like that's a wasted opportunity with something that a lot of people like and that they just haven't done well in almost any adaptation in regards to the black suit / Venom. So that's just my thoughts on that.
That's good theory.
You know, honestly, I would actually keep Tom Hardy on board to do the Venom voice, because if you give him a proper script, proper material to do that voice, I think he'd be a good Venom.
No, got to bring back Tony Todd. He was fucking butchered.
Hell yeah.
Butchered in Spider-Man 2. You got to bring back Tony Todd. That man needs to shine as Venom. When they announced him as Venom in Spider-Man 2, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking perfect fucking casting. Let's go. Candyman as Venom. Let's fucking go. And then he revealed, oh yeah, like 90% of my lines are on the cutting room floor because Sweet Baby Ink had to come in and fucking ruin everything. So bring back Tony Todd as the Venom voice. Do that.
And
please.
Tom Hardy's doing something else now. I think he sounded like
maybe.
No, Tom Hardy right now, he's now like set up to do some TV stuff, making a lot of money doing TV now. So I think he's done with Venom for now, or unless they want to call him back and offer him a pile of, bring on the Brink trucks to him.
Yeah.
But I also think it just determines how well Venom 3 does too.
That's also a major factor, as I was mentioning.
And I don't think it's going to. The numbers aren't good.
Yeah, the numbers aren't good. I think it'll maybe make its money back. I don't think it's. I mean, the last one made like
500 something.
Yeah, like 500 something. What
almost 600 million.
Yeah, it was like 500-ish. I think the first one made like 800 million. Second one made like 500. So I can imagine this one maybe make like 200, 250 at the most.
I mean, they're expecting this to make a lot of money. Globally outside of the domestics.
Yeah.
Like they're expecting 150 million opening weekend worldwide. So this movie's gonna make, I might guess, maybe 400 million.
Maybe China likes this shit. Who knows?
Yeah. Because people do go see movies like this overseas.
I mean, my theater had a pretty good showing, I mean.
Yeah, so so far it's made 22 million domestically. It's made 72.8 million internationally. Oh, wow. So it's made almost $100 million so far. It's made 94.8 million. So
and it has a good budget, $220 million budget. So it's gonna make some money back. It's only
100. It's only 120 million.
Okay.
Yeah. So
which
that's
perfect.
Definitely a good budget. How to do it, because it's like actually fucking make that money back. Crazy.
So do we have anything else you want to say about Venom: The Last Dance besides?
I would say either pirate it or go see it on demand. I don't know if it's worthy for like a theater, but like since nothing else is really out right now that's like worthy of seeing in terms of new stuff, I would say if you want to waste like $10-15, I would say go see it.
It's
maybe go see it with some friends, get a little drunk, get a little high, have a designated driver.
Go ahead, Zach.
The way I'd recommend it is like how I enjoyed these movies is, if you liked these movies for whatever reason, but especially if it's because you get some dumb fun out of them, you'll very likely get that out of this. So if that's all you want, it's worth going to see.
Yeah, that's the same thing. So go with some friends, see it on a matinee or whatever. You know. It's good for a matinee. So it's
wait for it on streaming service.
Oh, it's Sony though. Yeah, stop the fucking 20-minute end credits though. That is ridiculous.
I mean,
that's every movie.
You have to credit it. It had a lot of special effects. So
yeah, they can't not get run the credits. That's part of the whole fucking agreement. I mean, shit, they have to do that.
So what's the next movie that we're going to be reviewing next week?
It is going to be Heretic. Hugh Grant is a creepy holy roller, and we're going to review the shit out of that, and that's going to be hosted by Devin. So let's hope that that's good, because I'm excited for that one. Hugh Grant is in his villain era, and we are here for it.
Sweet. But
But
that's
yeah.
going to do it for us. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
See you all next week.
Peace out.
Peace.
We are Venom.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America.